Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read through for Kubera, Season 2 episodes 92, 93, 94, and 95. We're finishing out the rest of the taboo, so I'm going to finish out the rest of this arc here, do the afterwards like I always do as well, and then for the next few weeks, I'm not 100% sure how I'm portioning things out. I think really the easiest way to do things, even though it might seem a little bit on the shorter side, I think the easiest way to do the next section is probably going to be 3 chapters next week, and then 2 chapters plus the Q&A special the week after next, and then the week after that I believe is when I'll do the next character ranking. But again, you know, the beginning of these videos, I'll keep you updated. Same goes for like the community tab, Discord. I'll let you know when I know. But I think that's probably going to be the sort of most effective way to do things. But we'll see. Either way though, let's actually get to reading this time. Last time we sort of brought up the idea more of the incident that happened in Asha's past and Rish potentially looking back into that. So I'm excited to see where the rest of this arc goes and then where we continue on for the next one, all of that. So yeah, either way, let's just start reading, I guess. We start with, hey Mish, hey Mish Riss. Hey Miss Rish, I froze the body like you said, but Hoti Vishnu won't work anymore, even if the Priestess of Revival were here, a dead person. Shut up. Stop babbling about that. Just keep it frozen. If it melts, you're fired. Looks super cute, sister. Go back inside, Roosh. We have Roosh backstory. Also very cute. All of you, go and look for someone who can use Hoti Vishnu. I don't care who it is. If anyone can bring someone back from the dead, I'll give them 1,000,000 gold coins on the spot. And I wonder if this is going to be a really personal thing for Rish, because she wanted to bring somebody back, but and like she couldn't have Asha do it for one reason or another. But if they're like actually like dead, their lifespan is supposed to be done, their lifespan's supposed to be over, then it's not like they can be brought back anyway. I forget if that's something that I talked about the week before last or if it was last week, but either way, there was something where I was like, wait. So if you can just rewind somebody's time, can't you just make everybody immortal? But that was me forgetting, me not taking into consideration that it only works for people taken before their time, so to speak. It only works for people who didn't die at their appointed time that the gods already had planned out ahead of time. So it isn't their destined death. It's not their fated death. So if like this person was somebody who died when they were supposed to die, then it's not like Hoti Vishnu could do anything anyway. And now we have the taboo, part 4. Hoti Vishnu caster wanted. Reward 1,000,000 gold. Creation brand Brimo. That is gold. That yeah, 1,000,000 gold coins. I was gonna say they didn't specify their. Unless I guess the over 0.00 is them specifying. I was going to say they didn't really specify the currency. And is this Asha? Wow, how much is that? 1,000,000? The value's really shot up since no one can use it now. Before, people would have lined up to offer that spell, even for just 10,000 gold coins. But why? Are you interested in Hoti Vishnu too, Asha? No, it just seems like a waste of money. What do you mean? It's somebody else's money anyway. By the way, I heard you got perfect on your last exam. I guess the professor just taught me really well. Boss, it's been 6 months. It wouldn't matter now, even if someone who can use Hoti Vishnu turns up. They may be frozen, but there's no way the underworld wouldn't have realized that they're dead after 6 months. They've almost certainly registered the name by now. Keeping the ice in place is just a waste of manpower. Why don't we... Alright, fine. I'll stop freezing them. I know it's late, but let's prepare a late funeral. Ah, you finally made up your mind. What a relief, boss. Yeah, it's all in the past now anyway, and we see current Rish. I've already let them go, so I'll just give her one more chance. I may hate her, but she did save my life. And with the threat of the Shura still lingering, we still need her. Okay. If she could just admit what she did and apologize, I could pretend that I never saw any of this. And then it's going to say association on that one thing. Time zone errors or something else she's looking into. And is this changing divine affinity or changing something that ends with an N, actually, not an E? Changing something affinity. Or changes something affinity. I'm pretty sure that the Hunges is probably just the last 6 letters of changes. Or maybe changes in affinity. Maybe that's what the N is for. Ron, what did you find out today about the Bow of Neutrality? What about you? How's Bavati Kubera coming along? I can't talk about it, it's a secret. But I'll probably be able to fire it before you. You're such a liar. And then we have indifferent. Anyway, there aren't many visitors around now. Maybe we can start practicing magic outside. Ashirahiro. And we see Rish. Huh? What brings you here, all alone without any of your employees by your side? I thought you would go and run inside if you saw a crowd of people approaching, so I came by myself. I'll just get right to it, Asha. Why didn't you use Hoti Vishnu during that accidental manslaughter incident of 29 people? If you had used it right, or if you had used it right then, they could have come back to life without needing to be frozen. And we have the reactions of Lise and Ron. Huh? Accidental manslaughter. 29 people? What do you mean? Wait, you didn't know. Asha killed 29 people, claimed it was a miscalculation, and then got released for a measly fee. It's not like all 29 people died at once, either. They all died in separate incidents. It looks like either something hitting somebody in the face cutting through the top of the rabbit's head, or their face is exploding. Basically, that genius accidentally killed 29 people because of a miscalculation. Ron looks over. Well, even if you did miscalculate something, I just want to know why you didn't use Hoti Vishnu. I know it's your own choice, whether to use it or not. Because again, this is the thing where... Or, like, maybe those were 29 bad people. Or it could be potentially a situation where this was their fated, destined time to die or whatever. Because it's hard to believe somebody like Asha just messing up a calculation and killing 29 people. I mean, like, that seems like something easy enough to do when you're using, like, massive scale magic. But again, somebody who is a generational talent, so to speak, like Asha, probably even greater than generational talent, to mess something up like that is a little bit weird, a little bit suspicious, but not too crazy again if you're working with big magic, complicated calculations. But then, knowing that you could just fix your mistake, it's like, why didn't you fix your mistake? But if it really was just a mistake, shouldn't you at least take responsibility for the people you killed by accident? It makes no sense. It almost makes me wonder if you killed them on purpose. Anyway, the case is already closed and you wouldn't get punished even if you turned yourself in now, Asha. So I think at least an apology. I didn't know how to use it at the time. What? I didn't know how to use Hoti Vishnu at the time, so I couldn't bring them back to life. What other explanation do you need? You come all the way here to tell me that it's a closed case. If I wouldn't get punished even for saying it was a murder now, then what good does it do to bring it up? It's just a waste of time. You must have taken some serious financial damage during that last attack, so why don't you use this time to manage your business or something? Yeah, you're right. I guess this was a waste of time. God, I love Kubera's writing. Like, all of the expressions of both of them, knowing that Asha is probably saying some half-truths to, cover for herself a little bit. And then Rish's, like, sort of personality that she's putting forward to try to present things a certain way, but also this, like, analytical nature, and how Rish has spent time obsessing over this and researching a lot. Yeah, you're right. I guess this was a waste of time. Thanks for the advice. You really opened my eyes. Well, see you. She leaves. Is that true? You killed 29 people? It was an accident. It was deemed accidental manslaughter, and I paid the penalty of 43,500 gold coins. I've already legally taken responsibility for it, so there's no need to bring it up again. Yuda's so late. I guess hunting must take a long time. And then Lee's trying to change the subject. But Lee's trying to change the subject. Also, the use of stuff like, I've legally taken responsibility for it. It was deemed accidental manslaughter. And some of the things that Asha was saying with Roosh before. It's like talking in these technical terms. It's like, okay, we don't need to bring it up. We don't need to talk about it. Because it's technically been handled. Asha, let's have dinner. You too, Ron. Boss, where did you run off to without telling me? I've been looking for you. It was nothing. I went to try and show some humanity for a change, but it just ended up being a waste of time. About these files, are you going to present them yourself? What if you get attacked? They're not for me to present. Send them to the head of the Eloth Magic Guild, to the highest authority in the magical realm, who insisted till the end that Asha be executed at the time that she was sentenced for accidental manslaughter. To be continued. Very good chapter. We're getting deep into the past of these characters, and that's so cool because we have spent, what now, a couple hundred, what's the overall chapter? We've spent nearly 200 chapters developing these characters, and there is still more stuff from their past, still more connections they have to other characters, still so much stuff that we haven't explored. It is crazy how in-depth the characters already are, and yet it's kind of just the tip of the iceberg. There's still so much more that we can learn, so much more that we can see, and that's just things that have happened in their past, or things that are things that are already innate to them, not things that they could change or develop into the future. It's absolutely insane how deep the writing is. It's so good. That was a very, very, very fun chapter. And again, all the things I said about the different facial expressions, the way that things were worded, dialogue, and just the writing is so incredible in Kubera. But before I move forward, before I move along to the next chapter, let's check out the afterword. Afterward this time says picture of Rish. Rish looks older than she is, even as a quarter blood, because she wears matronly glasses and dresses like a middle-aged woman. Yet she's younger than Ron. She actually has the appearance of a teenager. Hard to believe. She gained her representative seat when she was young, so she dresses older so that she won't be ignored by anybody. I mean, I think Risha's look is great. I love the glasses and middle-aged woman outfits she wears. Very, very appealing. Then younger Asha in incognito clothing. When Asha attended Eloth University, her fan club would follow her around. She wore clothes to help her blend in with others and wore a hat too. She tried to stay incognito wherever she went. Of course, she was under the scrutiny of her fan club in the lecture halls. And then text not translated for the rest of it. Alright. So also I see that note down there saying a million gold's 44 million US dollars. Wow. But yeah, with all of that aside, I guess in the Seiron family, incredibly wealthy then. But yeah, with that aside, let's go to the next chapter. Yuda, you may enter the city with Asha Rahiro's vouch for you. Thank you, Asha. It sure took a while today. It looks like all the nearby Shuras have gone into hiding because Mr. Cossack has been patrolling the city. I have to go really far out for hunting. Yuda gave a scarf to Lise. Yeah, it must be hard. No, it's not really that bad. Asha, are you okay? I just have a lot on my mind. Yuda, do you feel guilty when you catch and eat other Shuras? A lot of them must beg you to let them live. No, almost none of them beg me to spare them. They know very well that begging for their lives doesn't work among Shuras anyway. Of course, it's not like I don't think anything when I'm killing them, since we're living creatures that speak the same language. But after doing it for such a long time, I guess I've just gotten numb by now. In the Shura world, Shuras who feel guilty every time they hunt end up dying out. If human society were more like the Shura world, I wonder if it would have been easier for me. No, I might have died out first. Man, that is just a really good scene. Also, I love these 4 characters so much. I keep calling them the main quartet and everything. I love them so much, and the, again, depth of their relationships. It's just insane. So we have Taboo Part 5. Something swooshing in. Oh, this is the neutral bow firing a shot. I'm almost sure now, after testing it out this much, the longer you hold the bowstring back, the further the arrows go. Of course, it also uses up that much more vigor, so there's a limit to the range that I can reach. Ron, are you listening? Wait. How are you able to shoot it so easily? I thought nobody had been able to use it so far. Creating the bowstring requires a lot of vigor. With the amount of vigor that it uses up, there aren't many people who can even pull the string back. But there must be a lot of halves with more vigor than you, like Mr. Cossack. Rish may not have come and asked you, but don't you think she might have gone to the halves? That seems a bit strange to me. She might not have even asked them. Anyway, you have high enough energy capacity to use this, but you're running low on energy, so eat lots, sleep well, and give it a try whenever you like. I have a meeting this afternoon, so I'd better get going. I have another question. I'm busy, man. Go look it up in the library. That is such a funny answer. Is it true that Asha killed 29 people? He stops in his tracks. Answer me. Is it true? Is that why you were in the trial too? Lutz looks back. Yeleth Magic Guild. President, this is a secret document sent from the creation brand Brimo. Brimo. What could Rish want? By the way, have you heard from Lutz? Why isn't he here yet? Well, they're still not done cleaning up at Calibloom. President, a note has just arrived saying that two Upani appeared in a town near the Polar Sea. A sea roughly 500 kilometers. That's a pretty long way to the north of Eloth. I told you not to slam the door like that. I'm tired, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to use much vigor. Hoti Shodia, Bhavati Shodia. And we have this long distance, Shodia. What was Shodia? Oh, I don't remember. Is that wind? No, wind is Vayu. What was Shodia? Indra, sky, which is kind of like lightning. Hold on. Let's see if I can name some of these off. So if we're going for like the 4 usual elements, wind is Vayu, water is Varuna, fire is Agni. I mentioned wind already. Earth is Kubera. Then sky is Indra. Resurrection or whatever is Asvins, and used to be Vishnu. Destruction is, I forget what destruction used to be. It's on the tip of my brain, but it's currently, God, what was it currently? It's not Shodia though, right? I'm not remembering it off the top of my head, but it's not destruction. I don't know why I'm not remembering it off the top of my head. And then creation is Brahma. So then that leaves 3 more that I'm forgetting. Darkness is Chandra. That was darkness. Light. Shodia might be light. Because there's light, darkness, sky, and I forget what the last one is. Oh, chaos. Kali, which isn't really a thing right now. So, yeah. Shodia I'm thinking is light then. Because why am I not remembering destruction? Marut's destruction. And destruction used to be something with a K, I think. I don't remember. So this is 2 beams of light. Are they using it to transport or to look in the distance? I'm not 100% clear on what the Hoti and Bhavati spells for Shodia do. Forget it. Just go. We won't need to send any extra support. Thank you, boss. Jeez, he never listens to me. You sure have a lot of work to do. Lutz is normally supposed to be the one to deal with Shuras outside of the city. That's right. Thanks to him, I'm absolutely exhausted. Why does Hoti Asvins make me feel any less... Why does Hoti Asvins make me feel... Shouldn't it be doesn't? I think maybe doesn't. Or why doesn't Hoti Asvins make me feel any less tired? I forgot my glasses today. Why is the printing so small? Sahaon, quarter, 57 years old. So physiologically 26-ish. President of the Eloth Magic Guild, presiding judge of magic, dean of Eloth University, Eloth Priest of Light, magic rank AA, overall rank number 1. Very, very awesome design. He once won a beauty contest wearing regular clothes after being pushed to join by his fiancée. He cannot read small prints without a magnifying glass. Extremely cool design. I think one of the best designs we've seen so far. I really like, when it's not the kind of... I love when we see the comedic chibi-ish designs, but when we get full detail Riche, I actually think Riche is one of the coolest. I also really like both Ron and Lutz. I actually think that I might prefer Ron's design to Lutz, but they both look cool too. Trying to think of more. Obviously Marina looks cool, but then he's a bird brain. Just thinking through some characters. There's probably other very cool ones. But yeah, I think Sahaon might have the coolest design so far. I love it. I heard that Asha can use Hoti Vishnu. Why don't you ask her to turn you back before you were before you were tired? Save the lame jokes. My name's already been on the Resurrection Prohibition list for ages. Resurrection Prohibition list. Certain intellectuals who are suspicious of the principle of Hoti Vishnu sign their names on a list presented to the Temple of Death, which states that they refuse to have their time turned back by this spell. That kind of makes sense. Let's say you die. There's a good reason to want to have time turned back so you can come back to life, but because of, again, the principle of how turning back time to make you alive again works, especially when there's the whole your name's written in the sort of written by the gods for when you're supposed to die, and destined or accidental death, things like that. I would also understand being not for me. I would rather not take my chances with however this is supposed to work, because again, with just bringing back Teo, if it is a turning back time kind of thing, then that is pretty difficult to deal with in terms of so if I had time turned back for me 5 years, then the past 5 years of my existence is basically kind of gone to me. But then, don't you regret giving Asha an accidental manslaughter sentence before? You suspected her of intentional murder right until the end, sir. I know you had no choice but to give her that sentence, since there was no clear motive and the jury was on her side. But now that we know about her Hoti Vishnu, there's an even greater chance that it was intentional murder. Tilda Meliot, half 95 years old. Let's bust out the calculators. So she's 23-ish when it comes to her physical age. Manager of the Eloth Magic Guild and personal bodyguard of the guild president. Being a half, she cannot use magic at all, but she knows more about it than the professors in the field. She's the first half to be a manager of the Magic Guild. So really intelligent when it comes to the study of magic and how the magic actually works. And also, glad that she was introduced before February when I was thinking about doing the best girl ranking, because she may be one of the prettiest characters so far. Ah well, what can I do now? It's already finished. Damn it, I can't read this just staring at the pages. Even if I did suspect her, she could just get out of it by saying, I didn't know how to use Hoti Vishnu at the time. Knowing Asha, that's exactly what she would say. I can't see. Tilda, could you read this to me? I can't read it. It's a confidential document addressed to you, sir. Then go ahead and get my glasses from my root. And then notices something? What's wrong? Is it serious? I want to see. Okay, sorry. Just glancing at what we can see of that. What's wrong? Is it serious? Yeah, it's seriously interesting. Cancel my meeting tonight and get ready to leave immediately. There are a further 3 cases of murder in which the alibis attachment 4, with which Asha was declared innocent, would be invalidated if she's able to use Hoti Vishnu. Oh, that is seriously interesting. Some of the alibis given for things that it's like, okay, well, you know, there's an excuse, Asha did this. It's not that if Asha could use Hoti Vishnu, she could bring them back or whatever, but it's in other things. If she said, oh, I was here at this time, or this person remembers her doing something at this time, if she can mess with time, then, like, that could be faked. And then 1. In 2 of the 3 cases, items with confirmed incorrect. So I am feeling like Sahaon trying to read this tiny writing. With confirmed incorrect time zones have presented as evidence. Attachment 3. 2. But later dismissed on the basis that Hoti Vishnu could not be used after the Great Upheaval. At present, all evidence has been stolen. Attachment, I can't read that. Attachment 8. 3. Result of interviews with acquaintances of victims. 1. None of the victims, whether minors or adults, had ever been issued identification by the city and were either living outside the city or active within the city with others vouching for them. Attachment 7. Then 2. Two of the 21 of the victims, maybe 21 of the victims told acquaintances that their names were fake while still alive. Attachment 8. Hold on. Okay, we can see this. I was like, let me see if we see this in more detail. Okay, we're going to search the life search system now. We can see this part. And those aren't actually like 1, 2. They're just like long S looking things. 21 of the victims told acquaintances that their names were fake while still alive. Attachment 8. Of the 21 people who've been revealed to have used fake names, 4 stated that their real names were the names of gods. It would be difficult to consider this proportion as being coincidental. Thus we seek the assistance of a AA rank sorcerer in checking the life search system. However, Lorraine Rartia and Claude Yui must not be informed thereof. Attachment 10. Maybe because Lorraine and Claude are too close to, maybe because they're too close to Asha, or maybe it's because Lorraine is too close to Asha, but Claude is the priest of death, and maybe that's why. So, this could have been Asha was searching for people with gods' names to try to find Lee's, and she killed some of the people with the gods' names before. She's out here hunting and killing the people who aren't Lee's. Or maybe she's hunting and killing the people who do have gods' names or something like that. But it's weird because it said in an incident like all 29 died together. But that is really interesting to note that all but 8 of them used fake names, and the fake names, some of them are confirmed it's because they have the names of the gods. 4 said it was because the names are the names of the gods, and it can be presumed that the other 17 probably were also in the same situation. It's just that they didn't reveal that their real names were the names of the gods. They stuck to the fake names. Okay. Again, we are diving deep into this story. Kubera is so good. Again, sorry if I had a lot of sidebars there, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. Also, one other thing, after we read the afterword, I want to bring one other thing up, if I can. The afterword for now, though, we have pick up text not translated, Lutz firing the neutral bow. It doesn't matter how you hold the neutral bow. Lutz uses his own posture. Anyway, Ron made the bet, so Ron has to shoot the arrow. Crying Saha and Tilda. Saha's clothes are not all white. His pants give a splash of color. The rest of the text is not translated. Something about him being Lutz's partner during the magic tests, and he achieved a #1 ranking despite Lutz trying his best to mess up his own results. Okay, so let me see if I can find this thing that I want to bring up. Forgive me because it is not centered, but this is from back, I guess, like 2 months ago, judging from the dates. I had noticed when going back through, I think it was AAA rank Magician, that on some of the ID cards and some of the papers that, oh gosh, who was it? The one who wears the hat? Why am I forgetting names today? Her name is Lila, sorry. Some of the papers and all of this stuff for the elements that were listed, like the attributes for the characters and stuff, there were kanji, and I was like, I recognize this kanji, I recognize that kanji. So I went on a deep dive looking if Kurigam had used those more for the different elements that the gods correspond to, and I was able to find all of them. So I was finally also able to find death, but I didn't have it here. So the kanji used for water, fire, earth, wind, and light are all just the same. Just the kanji that mean those things. And of course kanji come from Chinese characters, and both Japanese and Korean, when it comes to their language, have a lot in their writing system, goes a lot back to Chinese. So all of those 5 mean the same thing. Death is the same. Death goes in there. Sky is heaven. The kanji for heaven is used for sky. For darkness, the kanji for darkness, like Yami, isn't used or anything. It's the kanji for dark as in like visually, like it's dark out here. It's dark in here. Destruction is, again, a kanji that means destruction. Creation is one that means construction, so that makes sense. Chaos is one that means mix, but it's used in the like Chinese, Japanese, and Korean words for chaos, so mix is there. And for resurrection, it's like mawaru, so it's used as a counter for something, as in times, like times something happened, but also if used, like I said, mawaru, if used like as a verb, it is to rotate, to turn, to spin, is the kanji used for resurrection. So that's what I was bringing up here as interesting when it comes to some of these characters' attributes that we're getting into. And now that we're getting into resurrection magic, it's interesting that the symbol that Kurigam used for resurrection magic was a symbol, meaning like, turn, revolve, time something happened. And it's also something that's used in words for like recovery and stuff. That kanji is used in those longer words. But I'll continue on to 94. I just wanted to bring that up because we're getting more into like, resurrection stuff and how it relates a lot to time rather than just like basic healing. So I thought that'd be cool to bring up. And yeah, in addition to that, I could just show the, like I said, what I found when looking at the other symbols that Kurigam had used, especially seeing, it reminded me of it, seeing Sahaon flip through the pages and everything, given that that's how I first noticed it, is when I was going back through AAA rank Magician, going through that arc and seeing that it was on some of the licenses and the papers and stuff. So either way, let's start reading episode 94. We have N11 and then 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. The locations of 35 people were confirmed for 1 year later. The rest are not alive at the time of this search. Okay, and we're seeing the 6 cities. We have Misty Shore, Terra, Rentalo, Eloth, Arrow Plateau. Have I heard Arrow Plateau yet? And Calibloom. So there's the 5 I've definitely heard, 3 that we've been to, though I think we've seen a little bit of Rentalo and Eloth, but Arrow Plateau is the one I've known the least. And it's interesting too, because one of Asha's big things is that she needed to use the life search system. Mr. President, there's 1 minute remaining. I know, stop pressuring me. And we go to N13. Location information requested for 35 people for 2 years later, and they're all gone. So, is it true then that Asha's just been wiping out people with the name of the Okay, or maybe that was showing that it was blinking out and then blinking back on. The locations of 19 people were confirmed for 2 years later. The rest are not alive at the time of this search. Sir, you could be in danger if the time limit runs out. You'll barely be able to make it out of here, even if you leave now. He goes to N16. Location information requested for 19 people for 3... Get out here now, Saha. How can you be so calm when you're in there? You need to know when to be on your toes. You could have just vanished if the time limit had run out. I know. Still, if I don't find them now, I would have to wait a year for the next chance. Level AA sorcerers may use the life search system, but after going in once, they cannot go back in until a year later. Thus, they usually only use it for things they absolutely need, and they did not enter it very often. I don't know who you're looking for, but even if you can't find them, you could always ask another AA sorcerer to find them for you. No, I can't. Now I can't trust them. What do you mean? Isn't your own fiancée a AA sorceress? That's right. That's what makes me even more sad. I'm sure that I forbid anyone from using the life search system when Asha showed up. So which one of them was an accomplice in that terrible serial killing? So, it does seem that Asha has been going through and killing people with the name of a god looking for Lees. At least that's what it's seeming like at the moment, but it might be more deep than that. It could even be a situation of Asha's been trying to find them, but the Shuras get to them and kill them each time, and Lees is the one that she's been able to protect. But I think it's more likely that they had the name of a god, but they weren't actually. But then it's weird, because Agni said there were 3 other people named Agni and Atera, so wouldn't she have gone after them? It is odd. So which one of them was an accomplice in that terrible serial killing? The Taboo, Part 6. So there's probably a very, very limited amount of AA magicians. I don't know how many there are, but there's probably an extremely small amount, and one of them helped Asha to use the life search system. But it seems like it would be pretty heavily monitored, but then again, all they would have to do is just sneak in and use it without like registering that they used it. Okay. So maybe you could see who else used it that year officially, and maybe rule out whoever else used it that year. We have Ron walking. Ron, Lees, Yuta, hee. I have some news that's going to really surprise you. I spent all day today practicing Bhavati Kubera, and then I floated off the ground this much. Right, Yuta? He nods. The problem is, because I still don't fully understand it, I can only float once, and then it doesn't work again. Right. Well, you're surely working hard. You might even be able to take the bow of neutrality. He walks away. Looks like something else is bothering him. Is it because of that girl we heard, or is it because of what we heard from that rich girl, Harish? About Asha killing 29 people. I'd already heard about it in the temple, so I wasn't too surprised, but it seemed like that was the first time that Ron had heard about it. He must have been really shocked. Do you really think Asha could have made a mistake? Yeah, of course. Asha said it was a mistake, so we should believe her. Friends are supposed to trust each other. Man, really, the scenes are so good with Lees. Have you still not finished converting that cape? I didn't want to fail again, so I was looking for some materials to help increase my chances of succeeding. Anyway, about that accidental manslaughter of 29 people. You both voted in Asha's favor, right? Right. I couldn't attend the trial because of Lila. Okay, so Claude couldn't attend the trial, and I'm assuming Claude's not the one that helped. And then Sierra voted in favor of Asha. I don't think Sierra's the one who did it, though. Again, Lorraine seems too obvious. I'm wondering who it would be. I was thinking maybe Lutz, but if Lutz is asking this question, then it's probably not him then. And then I heard from Ron this afternoon that it looks like Rish is looking into the case again. We have reactions there. There was already a lot of talk about that case now it's even worse because of Hoti Vishnu. And it can't be, maybe Asha just used it herself and this is a complete red herring because Asha is just that special. But it can't be Brilith, right? Because Brilith is only A rank, right? Even though Brilith has the triple attributes, her scores weren't good enough to be AA, right? Rishma must hate Asha even more since she once paid 1,000,000 gold coins to use Hoti Vishnu. There was already a lot of talk about that case. Now it's even worse because of Hoti Vishnu. I didn't know if I had forgot that one. You know, before, I never thought that Asha was the type of girl who would kill someone on purpose. But after finding out about Hoti Vishnu, it seems kind of suspicious. It seems even stranger to connect the accidental manslaughter with Hoti Vishnu. Would it be wrong to just presume that she couldn't use Hoti Vishnu before? Well, no, but judging from the fact that Rish is looking into this herself, there must be some decent evidence. Seeing how calm she's been lately, there's a good chance that she's already handed over the evidence to Saha. The case is already closed, so it's not like they can punish her regardless of what evidence they find. There may not be any legal recourse, but she could get banished from the world of magic. Saha is pretty soft, but he would never forgive a magic murder. The act of intentionally killing a human being using magic. This is different from accidental manslaughter. How many high rankers are there that would come to Asha's defense and stand up to Saha? It depends on what kind of evidence they find. But in the current situation, Claude, Lorraine, and Brilith are almost certain to support her. Teo probably would too, since Asha saved her. And I'm not sure about Lila. So they're calling Brilith a high ranker. I wonder if Brilith is AA then. Not sure about Lila. I know she was the one who gave Asha her A++ certificate, but she doesn't exactly seem to like her. Then, Claude, go and talk to Lila. Lila's probably pretty angry about me not going to Rindhollow. That's exactly why you need to talk to her. Apologize as much as you need to and have a talk with her. Okay, I'll try writing her a letter for starters. Rindhollow Magic Guild. Mrs. President, you just received this. Forget it. That's enough for today. Just that last document alone was over 4,000 pages, but it's from Claude. What? Claude, give it here. I sleep, I wake. And she sits up, puts the mask on. He's never once replied, even once when I've asked him to come to Rindhollow. Lila Himawati, quarter, 56 years old, so 26 and a half physically? Or no, yeah, 25 and a half physically. President of Rindhollow Magic Guild and Rindhollow Priestess of Darkness. Magic level AA, overall magic rank number 3. I see. At least he recognizes his own mistake. What? He wants me to support Asha. I should have known he was going to ask for something. There's no way someone like him would ever write a letter simply to apologize. It'd be great if you could offer our city even half of the attention that you give to other things. Her hair color is very pretty. Forget it. This isn't the first time he's been like this. What's going on with the weather? I'm already not feeling great. Now it looks like we've got a storm coming. We see lightning. And to be continued. Okay, very intriguing. This plotline is so good. I love this plotline so far. Like, this is incredibly good. I find the whole mystery thing to be really appealing. I kind of like that more than the action stuff, and I think it works so well too because we're almost 200 chapters in before we really start diving into this specific plot line. So we have already had a lot of time to live in the world, so to speak. We have had a lot of time with with Asha specifically. So we've had a lot of time with Asha specifically. I was smushing her name together with Saha, who I keep wanting to call Saha Sasha. But we've also seen a bit of Claude, we've seen a bit of Brilith, we've seen a little bit of Sierra, a little bit of Lutz, just a teeny bit of Lila. So we have... It's not like we're getting this out of nowhere. It's like we've set all these pieces into play before getting into the mystery, and now we're starting to delve deeper into this mystery with all of the pieces being stuff that we already know a little bit about at least. That's just incredibly good. But either way, let's check out the afterword for this one. Afterward for this one, as Yuta didn't tie his own scarf into a bow, and I'm only showing the result and leaving the rest to your imagination. Do you want me to show the whole thing to you in this webtoon? No, I'm busy doing the main story right now. And then, is Arrow Plateau an unfamiliar name on the map of these cities? It was already mentioned a couple of times in the story. Okay, it was mentioned before. Arrow Plateau seems closer in distance, so why did only Eloth send support to Calibloom? You'll find out later. And now, the paperwork on the table are the documents that Sierra needs to take care of as a priest. Lutz and Claude also have plenty of documents they need to sign when they return to their temples. Lila could have taken care of Claude's paperwork, but Lutz, in distress while doing paperwork sticker. Wow, how long's it been since we've seen Lila? Was episode 25 the last time? If you could count only the regular episodes, she has reappeared after 169 episodes, but anyone who's read season 1 would remember her. Lila's a little hard to forget once you've seen her, and then a bit on typos that have been corrected. So let me think. I'll just leave it on this to be continued screen for a while. We probably know a lot of the priests and where they're located right now. So there's 6 cities, and 12 elements that would be divided among those cities. Okay. Let me give it a little bit of thought here. So going through the regular elements, we have fire, which is in Atera, and the priest is Brilith. That's a very easy one. Water, we don't know yet. Probably in Misty Shore, right? Or maybe we do already know. Misty Shore just seems very watery. We did learn a little bit about Ron's aunt and uncle, so it could be one of them. Yeah, I think it might be Ron's aunt or uncle. I think maybe we did learn it, but I don't remember. I don't remember off the top of my head. Wind, we don't know yet. That's going to be the temple to Varuna. Arrow Plateau has arrow in the name, so I figure it'll be there. And then Earth, we know is here in Calibloom with Sierra is the priest. Then you've got the Priest of Resurrection. Do we know them? That sounds really familiar. Priest of Resurrection sounds familiar. I don't know off the top of my head though. But that idea sounds familiar. We have Claude, who's the Priest of Death. Is Claude usually from Eloth? Where's Claude usually from? Is he usually from Rentalo, and that's he's neglecting his place there, which is a part of the issues that they're having. I think probably he's supposed to be. No, that's not right, because Eloth has light and Eloth has light and creation, unless they also have death there. But we know Claude's the priest there. So, resurrection, death, creation, and destruction. We don't know destruction yet, or where it is, I don't think. And creation is presumably in Eloth, since that's where Lutz came from, and Lutz is the priest of creation. We have Sky, I don't think we know yet. Ooh, Sky could also be Arrow Plateau. Maybe Sky is Arrow Plateau and also Wind, or maybe Wind is something else, like Wind and Water are both at Misty Shore. But yeah, actually we don't know that one. And then beyond those, what are the last 3 elements we've got going on? We've got the Temple of Chaos, which is Teo is the priest right here in Calibloom. After Sky and Chaos, there's Light and Darkness. Darkness, we now know, is Lila, who is in Rentalo, right? And then, unless I'm getting Rentalo and Eloth mixed up. And then in Eloth, again, unless I'm getting the 2 mixed up, in Eloth, along with Lutz, who's the priest of creation, you've got Saha, who's the priest of light. Alright, so it's getting filled out, and I feel like we have learned where most of them are. Definitely over half, and who over half of the priests are. Okay, very cool stuff. We still have one more chapter to read though, so let's go to 95. And then if I were to try to remember the Shura as well, there aren't any Shura for life, death, creation, or destruction, which is why there's 8 tribes instead of 12. And for the tribes, fire is Vritra, water is Gantarva, wind Wind is either Kinara or Yaksha. I would guess Kinara. Because Kinara is Shess, right? And Shess had like this windy looking thing when he first appeared, and he was like in sheep form or horse form or whatever he is. And then Earth is the snakes. That's Ananta. So we know Earth. It's really cool then. They're working with Kubera, that kind of thing. Then we got darkness and light. Darkness is Ashura, the bugs. And light is Yaksha, I think. Unless I'm getting Yaksha and Kinana mixed up. And Yaksha is the non-hooved mammals. Sky is Garuda. Pretty obvious one there. And that just leaves the Taraka tribe. Chaos. Okay, so yeah, I've got those down, I think. Unless I'm getting Yaksha and Kinana mixed up. But yeah, let's read 95. So I think I've got the elements and the corresponding gods and shoulda down. So 95. We're starting with this flash of lightning we saw before. Wow, cool. Looks just as terrifying as when we were slaughtering Rakshasas before. It was worth going through all that trouble to bring it here from Calibloom. Oh, and it looks like we have God Kubera. Well, with these we won't even have to go all the way to Eloth. We could probably just get rid of Rintalo. Don't tell me that now. You're suddenly doubting your decision? Or don't tell me that now you're suddenly doubting your decision. Of course not, Sagara. Then let's stop wasting time. This will all be over once we get rid of Rintalo and bring him back. Your atonement, my atonement. Everything will be complete once he returns. You would be a real jerk if you ran away from here, wouldn't you? I wonder who she wants to bring back. Does she want to bring back Ananta, maybe? Because it would feel... I get why Gandharva would want to bring back Vishnu, whatever happened to Vishnu. But I don't think that makes as much sense for Sagara. The only person I can think of for Sagara would be Ananta. And then the taboo, part 7. Teo, I brought your food. We're finally seeing Teo again this read-through. Thanks. Just leave it over there. We have Par, best girl. How's Teo doing? She still seems pretty weak. Thankfully, she's been eating well, so I don't think we'll have to worry about her health. Yeah, it must have been really hard for her. I wouldn't expect her to go out in public anytime soon. We'll just have to be understanding. It must be such a shock to her that the whole city was in danger because of her. I was surprised myself, and I was only running amok in one corner of the city. It's a good thing you stopped me, Zard. If I had killed someone with my own hands during the great upheaval, and this last time, I'm so ashamed. So I guess Clary was stopped from killing people both times, or is she saying that she's ashamed because... ashamed that, she lost her sense of self and all that, but maybe she's saying it because the translation is off and it's that she did kill someone during the Great Upheaval and this time she was stopped. I don't know if it's a translation issue or if she was stopped both times. You're good. You can stop apologizing for that, Clary. I'm worried about the worsening perception of Gandharva halves. I don't understand how that emotional resonance happened. Is that massive Shura really the king of the Gandharvas? It's already ridiculous enough that the king of the Gandharvas would have turned up here and Shurified, but I can't figure out why Agni wouldn't explain it when he was fighting the closest to them. The attack on Atera and then here. Agni's not explaining to us about either one of them. That's true. Even if he couldn't come and help us in person, he could have at least sent an official notice and given us some advice. Or at least told us who the Shuras were. No, the god must have his reasons for not telling us anything. We should just be quiet and wait. It's like, lately, I feel like I've gone back to before the Great Upheaval. What do you mean? The city was almost flooded. Not only do we have any measures to deal with it, but everyone's keeping quiet and only working on the trivial matters like restoring the city. And we see issues of self-defense against Gandharva halves. Among the Gandharva halves that suddenly became violent, there was an instance of excessive violence used against a young half who could have easily been subdued otherwise. The guarantor and colleagues of the halves are hereby filing a lawsuit. that does make sense. So it's like, obviously there are probably tons of cases where a perfectly innocent half, they didn't do it on purpose, but they completely lost, again, their sense of self, and people had to defend themselves, and that would have to include violently. So there are probably some people who killed what were technically innocent halves, but they only did so in self-defense. But then you have people that were going too far, and it's like, how do you judge if somebody lost their mind and was attacking you, like the use of excessive violence in these kinds of situations? It's like, that's got to be a really, really hard thing to manage. It was just like this before the Great Upheaval. Whenever something bad happened, the humans just wait for the gods to show them what to do instead of taking action themselves. Well, that's because the most knowledgeable one of all hasn't said anything. Let's just wait until Agni tells us something. There must be a reason he's keeping silent. It's probably something like that. But even that seems kind of odd. After the Great Upheaval, when the human world started to come together, the humans would at least have meetings and try to make decisions on their own. But since Agni appeared, it's like they're stuck in the same way that they were before the Great Upheaval. Wow, this is... Kurigam's amazing. She is so good at writing this, because that is another part of just knowing that a god exists and is here in your world, a way that it would change the world that I hadn't even thought about. I hadn't even thought about it being like, a lot of the people who are in charge now were like, oh, there's literally a god here. What is he? Because again, he's lived for countless ages, more than we can even comprehend. And so it's like, what if we make a decision that he doesn't like or that he thinks is wrong or whatever? Should we just wait for him to say what to do? Because as just mere humans that have lived 100 or so years at the most, he just knows better. So it feels like it really messes up human sociology to have a god here. You know that as a priest, you're saying something very dangerous right now, right? Without Agni... Sorry, hiccup. Without Agni, Calibloom would have been destroyed on that day. Of course, I'm grateful to Agni, but think about it. Do you think the Shuras took those godly items just to use as decorations? And we see Clope and Cloche. We've got a lot more to worry about right now than the records of Asha's accidental manslaughter or whatever. Actually, Sierra, ultimately the thing that I'm worried about isn't so different from your concerns. When I think of the records of the accidental manslaughter, I feel just as suspicious of Asha as you do. How could I not? Not even my own scatterbrained brother would make a mistake like killing a person. However, she's too valuable to banish for magic murder. She has the ability to save far more than 29 people. That's another thing to bring up with Asha. It's like, so let's say if Agni abused his power as a god and did something bad, what do? He's a god. Like what option do you have? Like if the gods are bad, then what do you do in that situation? And to a smaller degree here, let's say Asha did murder somebody. If Asha's like one of the most powerful humans, it's like, okay, she murdered somebody, but she's also done a bunch of good things. It's like, we shouldn't overlook murder, especially not mass murder, but she's one of the most powerful humans and can do and has done so much good otherwise. Just recently, she took over Atera's barrier and protected the citizens, and she has the potential to stand up to the Shuras and protect countless more people in the future. So her abilities matter more than morality. That's right. I feel sorry for the 29 victims, but for the sake of the people who are alive right now, we'll just have to bury the unpleasant past of a brilliant sorceress. What did you want me to see about? What did you want to see me about? I just thought I shouldn't talk about this in front of Lise. Look, you didn't need to be so aggressive when Rish came here, did you? I heard from my brother that those 29 people were a mistake, but anyway, the fact is that you killed them. Then shouldn't you show at least some remorse rather than calling it a waste of time? Judging from the way you normally treat people, it seems like you at least know that much. Did you do that on purpose because Lise was watching? Sorry if I'm just jumping to conclusions, but lately, you've been acting just like whenever she's not around. or acting just like before whenever she's not around. But as soon as she's nearby, it's like you suddenly become a completely different person. You ignore everything she says, and you keep acting so mean to her. If this is how you're going to be, I almost wonder if you two should part sooner before you end up making yourself look any worse. Are you trying to speed this up because of my records from the case? No, that's not what I mean, or not what I meant. Alright. If you don't feel comfortable being in the same house with me, then I'll leave tomorrow. Okay, it's not ending. We have Yuta looking on. And he smiles. Again? I don't know if I trust that. Next chapter, Out of Reach, to be continued. And now our last afterword for the week. We have text not translated, text not translated. Even if she's still in shock, Teo knows what she has to do. You can see lots of paperwork that's waiting for, and Yuta sitting on the roof. How could Asha or Ran not notice Yuta up on the rooftop like that? Yuta has excellent eyesight, so he must be watching them from a great distance where they can't spot him. Okay. Yeah, I don't trust Yuta's reaction there at the end. But either way, incredible set of chapters. Once again, I love this plot line and the mystery that we're getting into. I've talked about how much I loved it or love it and why a lot, so I won't, repeat myself too much here. But I just think that the writing and the dialogue and the facial expressions through the art, basically every bit of Kubera's writing is incredible. It's just so unbelievably good. But I'm gonna end this video here, and like I said, next time I might split it into 3 and then 2 plus the Q&A. Then I'll do another character ranking. Again, we'll see. I'll kind of go week by week to see how things go. I originally wanted to, I think, try to do all 5 chapters in one video, but I don't know how reasonable that will be, because it takes kind of a while to read through them and discuss everything. But either way, that's it. Thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Kubera, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it is free and open for anyone. Just ask and you can get a link. If you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, that's extremely appreciated. But if you want to support the channel, get One Piece videos a little bit early, and get your name at the end of videos, hit join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or link will be in the description to become a member. Thank you to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already members and patrons. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, Magical Girls, Efranono, JA and VD Band, Cherryton Students, David Linkstaff and Folded Goal, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Pate Ariel. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.